Let's hit some trade targets and waiver wire starting pitchers from Monday here on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5, a podcast that gets you caught up fast on the fantasy news and advice that you need to know. Follow and stream us on Spotify and anywhere else podcasts are found. Today is Tuesday, April 13th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Chris Towers, and we spoke about some trade targets on the full-length podcast. I know it's early in the season, Chris, but some people are panicking. Do you have a player that you'd be looking to buy low on right now in fantasy baseball?
Yeah, I think Charlie Blackmon is the perfect buy low candidate for fantasy baseball right now. He's only hitting 182, but he's got a 322 XBA. His underlying StatCast numbers all look pretty good. He's hitting the ball pretty well. I guess the one concern would be I think they've played 6 out of their first 9 or 7 out of their first 10 at home. The Rockies have, and so there's always he's got fewer home games left. So I guess maybe you're a little less optimistic about him moving forward. But based on what I've seen, I would think you might be able to get Charlie Blackmon for, a guy who was going outside of the top 150 right now.
Yeah, and I know the Rockies' home games are really front-loaded this season, so it's for the entire first half. These guys get off to really good starts. Once you get to your trade deadline in July or whenever it is, then you could maybe look to sell off some of your Rockies players then. Should we be selling high on Tyler Glasnow? Because I don't know, man. This guy is awesome. 7 2/3 against the Rangers on Monday. 7 2/3 shutout with 14 strikeouts to 1 walk. Do we sell high, Chris? Is he just a top 10 starting pitcher for fantasy? Top 5, dare I say?
I think in terms of talent, in terms of how well he's pitching, I don't think there's more than maybe 7 pitchers in baseball who I think are even close to as good as him right now. So I think you can sell high on him mostly just based on the fact that there's the risk that, the forearm injury that he had in 2019 will come back and bother him. But, given the way he's pitching right now, given the addition of that slider to his arsenal, giving him a legit 3-pitch mix, I think Tyler Glasnow is just about as good as anybody in baseball right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair, too. Through his first 3 starts of the season, 29 strikeouts to 3 walks. We've seen the command and the control be an issue for Glasnow in the past, but so far, so good for him. I am willing to move him inside my top 10 starting pitchers. He just needs to stay healthy. Again, that is Tyler Glasnow. Chris, we had a flurry of waiver wire starting pitchers available on Monday who were all awesome. Huascar Ynoa against the Marlins. He 6 innings of 1-run ball with 10 strikeouts. Casey Mize was 7 shutout with 5 strikeouts against the Astros. Alex Cobb, 5 2/3 of 3-run ball with 10 strikeouts. And Adbert Alzolay of the Chicago Cubs, 5 1/3 of 3-run ball with 6 strikeouts against the Brewers. Between Ynoa, Mize, Cobb, and Alzolay, who was your favorite of that group?
I would say Mize. He is, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. His velocity is up from where it was last season. You'd like to see more swinging strikes than what he's gotten so far in the first couple of starts of the season. But, he's a very good pitcher, even if he's not getting a ton of strikeouts, and I think he'll continue to be. And there's always a chance that he does make some tweaks and can get more swinging strikes. And, then I think there's really, high upside here. So, of all those guys, I like pretty much all of them. Huascar, was very impressive today as well, but Casey Mize would be the one if I had to pick one.
So I'll just compare Casey Mize to a few of the most added starting pitchers recently, and you let me know. Would you rather have Casey Mize or that pitcher? Mize or Cueto? I think you're muted, Chris.
Mize.
Mize over Cueto. How about Mize versus Matz? I know you like Steve Matz.
I think I would go with Matz. I think he's been a little bit more impressive.
How about Casey Mize versus Trevor Rogers? We talk a lot about
Rogers. I think Rogers is a top 50 starting pitcher right now, maybe even higher.
How about Casey Mize versus Carlos Rodon?
I really want to say, I wish we had seen the second Rodon start, but for now, I'll say Rodon.
Last but not least, another pitcher that you really like, Casey Mize or Yusei Kikuchi?
Kikuchi. Neither one of them's getting a ton of swinging strikes, but Kikuchi's had better command so far. And based on what he did last season, I know the ERA was high, but the peripherals were really good. I just really believe in Yusei Kikuchi.
All right, so Casey Mize is in the middle of that mix of the most added starting pitchers right now. Chris would take Steven Matz, Carlos Rodon, Trevor Rogers, and Yusei Kikuchi over Casey Mize for now. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.